SharePoint libraries and lists have a lot of the same functionality. So if you know how to use the tools associated with a library, you probably already know how to use a list as well. The list we're going to work with is our customers list for our sports team, and we're going to click Site Contents. And there's our new customers list. It was last worked on just a few minutes ago, and here it is. Now, this looks just like Excel. It's ready for us to edit. And this is called a data sheet view of a particular list. So if I wanted to sort this list, for example, by first name, I can click, and now I've sorted all the records. How many is all? A lot. There are a lot of records in this list. We're not seeing them all. In Excel, when you scroll down the list, you get more lists. Here, we just get the option to click and see even more people. So here's our list sorted, in this case, by first name. We could also sort it by last name. There's Adams, Adkins, and so on. We could sort it by city, or we could sort it by zip code. Doesn't really matter. We could filter this list if we wanted to by zip code, for example, or looking for people with a particular last name. All of those choices are available to us here. So here's all of the different last names. So if I know I'm looking for someone named Richmond, I can just scroll down the list, and there is Yoko Richmond from Pico Riviera. I can now say that I'd like to clear the filter, and everybody comes back. So I don't have to page down one screen after another to get to letters that are farther along in the alphabet. I can simply say I'm looking for somebody specific here. I'm looking, for example, for someone whose first name is Jolene. And here's Jolene Sears, just like that. Look how fast that is. That's wicked quick. Go ahead and clear this filter again. Now, sometimes you'll get to a particular choice and you'll want to filter it and it won't let you. You'll click and filtering it won't be a choice. Let's go take a look at another list that behaves just that way. So we're going to go home to our main site here on our intranet, and we're going to take a look at the tasks list. I can assign multiple people to complete a task. And because I can do that, if I try to sort, I can't actually sort on this list. But I can filter. I can say, well, show me any task that's assigned to Gerald. There's that one. Or to Ginny. Or show me any tasks assigned to either Gerald or Ginny. And then clear the filters. So if I can't sort based on a column, what's usually the case is that that particular column allows multiple values, allows me to choose multiple people, or to enter more than one date, for example. This view of a list is what's called a standard view. It doesn't look like a grid, but I can, in any view that I have, quickly switch to that grid view. All I need to do is go up to the tab and say, well, I'd rather actually see this in what's called the Quick Edit view. And when I do that, the web part will switch to Quick Edit. Now, the cool thing about this is that I actually have the ability to do things here much like I would do in Excel. So in this task list, for example, if we agree that we'll move the date, for example, for applying the theme to the sports site from Friday till tomorrow, notice that I can use that fill handle and just drag that just like that. Works just fine. If I want to switch back to my standard view, it's really easy. Just go back up to my list tab on the ribbon and say, I just want to switch to a regular view. And here we are again. Just as with my library, I have two tabs on my ribbon. One is to allow me to work with an individual item that's selected or multiple selected items. As soon as I select an item, not by clicking the checkbox, which would say it was done. It's not done. I just want to choose it. Then notice that all of these different items get fired up so that I can add it to a timeline, or I can edit this item. I can insert an item, or I can run a workflow on it. The List tab, just like the Library tab, allows me to work with the entire list all at one time, to switch views, to email a link to the list, to sync this particular list to Outlook because it's a task list, I can do that, or send it to Excel, or even open it with Access. And here at the end, things like the settings for this particular list. So I can also see, if I wish, who the list is shared with, and I can do this in a library as well. The company administrator and everybody who's actually internal to our site can use this list. Those permissions are coming from the site itself. They're not specific to this list. And for every single list, there's actually a form that exists that I can open up to do things with. So if I wanted to view the form for this list or to fill out information, the easiest way to do it is to go to Tasks and say, I want to create a new item. And when I create a new item that way, I actually get a form. This is it. It was created when the list was created. SharePoint built this. It's a fine form. There's nothing wrong with it, and I can fill information in. It has a required field. That's what the asterisk means. It has a date picker to allow me to choose a start date and an end date. and I'll enter names and email addresses here. But if I enter someone like Gerald, notice that as soon as I begin typing her name, then I can choose her here. I can remove her by clicking this X. So I can choose any person or group that's in SharePoint. I can't really add other folks here, but I can choose from the people I have. And I can show more fields. This is a task list. It has lots and lots and lots of fields, but only the first few are shown in the form. The idea being that probably if I'm creating a new task, this is all I know. When someone starts working on the task, whoever it's assigned to, they can then fill out the percentage complete, add more information to it, and so on. So this is the standard form that comes with a list. On the ribbon, I actually have choices to customize this form. So one of the things that I can do is use a tool called Microsoft InfoPath to spiff that form up and make it look a little better, or to change some things about it. So here are my tools that I can use when I'm working with lists in SharePoint, whether it's a task list or I'm working with another list, like my customers list that we saw earlier. All of them have those same types of choices: the ability to sort, the ability to filter, the ability to add items to the list, to manipulate the list itself, to connect it to other applications, and to change its settings. It's very easy to work with both lists and libraries in SharePoint because they're so similar.